Here's hoping we never run into any of these folks in a dark alley. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 scariest characters of all time.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
No need to leave yet.
For this list, we'll be looking at characters from a variety of genres who gave us the chills. They can be scary in looks, attitude, and/or motivation. Number 20. Gustavo Fring, Breaking Bad. Gus is the successful owner of Los Pollos Hermanos chicken restaurants, a savvy businessman, and a philanthropist. His seemingly good qualities, however, are a front for his involvement in methamphetamine trafficking. That isn't what makes him scary. What makes him scary is the fact that he remains cool, calm, and collected while performing the most hideous acts of violence. He applies his professional demeanor to all undertakings, whether good or bad. He runs his chicken empire with expert precision, yet threatens to kill Walter White's entire family with the same robotic stoicism and directness.
If you try to interfere, this becomes a much simpler matter.
Imagine your boss being a secret drug kingpin and brutally murdering in his or her spare time. Number 19. Ramsay Bolton, Game of Thrones franchise. Ramsay Bolton is an all-around terrible person. He is conniving, scheming, and ruthlessly murderous. What makes him frightening is the sheer amusement he seems to take from torturing his captives. In a memorable sequence, Bolton tortures the captured Theon Greyjoy, removing his member. He then casually sits by the newly made eunuch eating sausages. He heartlessly takes advantage of Sansa Stark and sets his bloodthirsty hounds loose on anyone who has the courage to go against his wishes. His nonchalant, bemused attitude throughout his endeavors make him a truly unsettling character, and we can't say we were disappointed when he met his much-deserved end. Number 18. Count Orlok, Nosferatu. When someone mentions horror, one of the first images the mind conjures is that of Count Orlok in the 1922 silent film, Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror. The character was portrayed by German actor Max Schreck in a film that was greatly influenced by Bram Stoker's Dracula. Orlok does not have the aristocratic debonair appearance of Stoker's vampire. He's more of a folkloric creature, reminiscent of rats and more visually demonic. His movements are closed and rapid, and his sneaking style is almost cartoonish. His eyes seem constantly wide, and his fingernails are more akin to talons. It really adds to his scary profile that the film is old and silent, as the inevitable rapid movements and creepy music provide more profound scares. Number 17. Patrick Bateman, American Psycho franchise. The protagonist of Bret Easton Ellis's novel American Psycho is far more sinister and grotesque in the source material. However, in an effort to keep things kosher, let's focus on the film version of Patrick Bateman.
And though I can hide my cold gaze, and you can shake my hand and feel flesh gripping yours, and maybe you can even sense our lifestyles are probably comparable, I simply am not there.
Bateman is a stereotypical 1980s Wall Street investment banker by day, but a gruesome serial killer by night. After a day of business luncheons and materialistic behavior with his pretentious friends, Bateman goes home to practice his sinister habits, mistreating prostitutes, feeding his hunger for violence, and the taking of lives. What brings Bateman to our list is his success in leading this double life and his cool demeanor upon going to work following an evening of raging homicide. Number 16. The Colossal Titan, Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan depicts a frightening world in and of itself. Humans must live in walled-off cities in order to protect themselves from gigantic creatures called Titans out to attack and eat them. The walls are basically impenetrable until breached by the Colossal Titan.
At that terrible moment, in our hearts, we knew home was a pen.
He is the largest of the Titans and is known for his powerful emissions of steam, which is used as a defense mechanism against anyone trying to come near the Titan by burning them. And we all know steam burns are the worst kind. If that wasn't unsettling enough, he looks like an enormous skinned humanoid whose muscle mass diminishes with use of his power until all that remains are bones. Number 15. The Martians, The War of the Worlds franchise. H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds is one of the original alien invasion stories. The Martians invading Earth are described by a first-person narrator, thus leaving some to the imagination of the reader. Though the book does describe them in greater detail, the gist of it is as such: a 4-foot head from which emerge 2 arms, branching out in 8 tentacle-like appendages and a bird-like, beakish mouth. They feed off the blood of animals and humans and wish only to claim Earth for themselves. They are said to possibly be the result of humanoid ancestry, reduced to a simple large head or brain and 2 arms. The reader can make his or her own image of the Martians, adding to the potential horror factor.
They could be as curious about us as we are about them.
Number 14. No-Face, Spirited Away. No-Face is a lonely, wandering spirit known for swallowing other beings and absorbing their personalities and physical attributes. It is influenced by these traits, thus becoming negative and belligerent at times. No-Face essentially has no gender and is a long, tubular black figure with a stoic white mask. There's something about an expressionless mask that adds to the creepiness factor of the character. Its initial appearance is not particularly scary, but is made so by its actions and enigmatic motivations. It feels like an ominous creature, and that never leads to anything good.
Take the gold! Take it!
Are you going to eat me?
Take it!
Number 13. The Weeping Angels, Doctor Who. Doctor Who is home to many scary creatures and characters. One of the scariest, however, has got to be the Weeping Angel. The Weeping Angels are quantum locked, which in layman's terms means they freeze when observed and can only move when out of sight. Hence, the unfortunate human affliction of blinking is a problem when being potentially attacked by one.
Keep your eyes on it, don't blink.
If they touch you, they can send you back to another point in time, leaving the potential energy you would have spent living your life up for grabs. And that is what they feed off of. Oh, and they are born of stone statues, therefore they look like those cemetery angels, wings and all, as if their actions weren't scary enough. Number 12. Regenerators, Resident Evil 4. The Regenerators are biological weapons created by Los Illuminados. They are human bodies injected with enough parasites to lead to mutation and the ability to regenerate damaged or lost body parts. They can also super stretch their limbs in order to pull in enemies to bite them and slither across floors at accelerated speeds. Yikes. Their heavy, labored breathing and monstrous growling also add to the sheer anxiety of encountering these things in-game. If that wasn't enough, players report up to 77 knife slashes required to kill a regenerator. So get your thumbs in shape if you plan on taking on these guys. Number 11. Annabelle, the Conjuring franchise. Dolls are inherently creepy. They are humanoid imitations of life. If that isn't enough, some are believed to be cursed or haunted. Enter Annabelle. The original toy was basically a Raggedy Ann doll believed to be possessed, and investigated, then owned by Ed and Lorraine Warren, 1970s demonologists and paranormal investigators. In more recent years, the lore of Annabelle has been used in the Conjuring film series, which depicts the Warren investigations.
Demonic spirits don't possess things, they possess people. It wanted to get inside of you.
Annabelle has a new look, reminiscent of a ventriloquist dummy, and grotesquely grins in her exaggerated makeup. Number 10. Joker, Batman franchise.
That's my cue!
The Joker is one of the most iconic comic book villains and was created decades ago in 1940. His design was based on the character Gwynplaine in the 1928 film The Man Who Laughs, who himself is an unsettling sight. The Joker has undergone quite the transformation in the comic realm, from simply jokester to complete psychopath. To say he is Batman's archenemy is somewhat of an understatement. He is completely obsessed with the destruction of the hero's world. Everything he does or lets happen to him is all part of a scheme.
I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No. You complete me.
For example, he allows himself to be caught in order to enter Arkham Asylum to meet the doll maker, who surgically removes his face in order to hang it and announce his rebirth. Number 9. Sadako Yamamura / Samara Morgan, The Ring franchise. Remember that little girl who climbs out of the television set in the Ring movies? Don't we all? She actually has quite an elaborate backstory. The gist of it is that she was conceived violently, considered to be a demonic personification, nearly drowned by her birth mother, and eventually actually drowned by her adoptive mother. She has supernatural powers, basically manifested in psychologically affecting those she targets. Her adoptive mother trapped her in a well in which she drowned after 7 days of struggling to live. She's a young girl with hair covering her face, wearing a white nightgown, and climbing out of a well in that creepy stop-motion kind of camera work. All the ingredients for a horror casserole.
You can't have my son. So take me.
Number 8. Pazuzu, the Exorcist franchise.
Who are you?
Would anyone like some pea soup? William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist features the demon Pazuzu as its main adversary. Blatty basically adopted the lore of the Assyrian and Babylonian myth in which Pazuzu was considered a king of demons. There are actual statue depictions of the character in existence. For our viewing pleasure, however, we were witness to the possession of Reagan McNeil by the nasty demon, and it is forever imprinted in our nightmares. The film spawned many exorcism horror tropes, such as the head spinning, projectile vomiting, and other such visual delights. The fact that an essentially non-visible demon could do all that to a young girl is scary enough.
How long are you planning to stay in Reagan?
Until she rots and lies stinking in the earth.
Number 7. Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Out of all the famous horror franchise faces, Leatherface is perhaps the most unsettling. He wears a mask of human skin and essentially does the bidding of his sadistic, cannibalistic family. He appears to be somewhat afraid of his siblings and thus commits murder to appease them and get human flesh for their diets and cooking competitions. It would be sad if it wasn't utterly horrifying. Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre films were heavily influenced by the notorious real-life serial killer Ed Gein, who himself actually wore a mask made of human skin, among other heinous things. Leatherface uses the titular chainsaw to chase down and brutally exterminate his prey, then brings the remains to his sinister family for their sinister activities. Number 6. Pennywise, It franchise.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
The second clown on our list, Pennywise of It fame, is spectacularly creepy. In creating the character, author Stephen King asked himself what would terrify children more than anything else, and the answer he came up with for his novel is clowns. First portrayed by Tim Curry in the 1990s television miniseries, and more recently by Bill Skarsgård, the character has become somewhat of an icon where scary clowns are concerned. It has been around for centuries according to lore, and used to feed off of native tribes. He reemerges to rain terror every 27 years.
27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. Oh, I missed you!
The more recent incarnation of Pennywise is particularly disconcerting thanks to Mr. Skarsgård's heinous grin, higher-pitched voice, and glowing eyes. Number 5. Jason Voorhees, Friday the 13th franchise. When one thinks of horror serial killers, the first image that comes to mind is often that of Jason Voorhees. Jason appears as a secondary flashback character in the first Friday the 13th franchise film. Pamela Voorhees' son Jason drowned at the camp, and she blames the negligence of the counselors, thus stalking and killing them in an effort to keep the camp from opening.
You let him drown. You never paid any attention. Look what you did to him.
She is killed, and Jason, somehow still alive and now grown, continues her legacy of defending the campgrounds. He doesn't quite do it in the nicest way, however. The iconic hockey mask came about only in the third film in the franchise, in which Jason takes it off one of his victims and uses it to hide his face. Number 4. Freddy Krueger, A Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Please, God.
This is God.
Freddy is the literal stuff of nightmares. In his life, he was the Springwood Slasher, a serial killer of young children. He was caught and burned alive by the mourning parents of his victims. He died, of course, yet went on to attack his prey from within their dreams. In Dreamland, Freddy is basically unstoppable and all-powerful.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but nothing
will ever kill me.
He reigns over the realm of dreams by feeding off of the memories and fears the town's residents retain of his horrible real-life crimes. In life, as well as in dreams, he uses a glove laden with knives and blades in order to kill, a device he built himself in his creepy boiler room lair. His face is severely burnt, owing to his aforementioned demise.
Catherine.
Number 3. Hannibal Lecter. Hannibal Lecter franchise. Dr. Hannibal Lecter is a talented and highly intellectual psychiatrist. We wouldn't recommend his services, however, as he is also an avid cannibal. The double life he leads is reminiscent of Patrick Bateman, as he goes widely undetected by his peers. The thing that makes Lecter such a scary character is his Michelin star chef attention to detail when it comes to cooking his favorite meal.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
This is very much focused on in the TV adaptation of the character, played to perfection by Mads Mikkelsen. Contrary to the savage cannibals of old, Lecter is, for lack of a better word, a refined cannibal. He has organized recipes, the best of cooking utensils, and the rarest, most palatable ingredients. Number 2. Xenomorph, Alien franchise. The aliens from the Alien films are some of the most memorable cinematic characters of all time. The creators of the film's creatures basically aimed for a sexual yet predatorial race. The Xenomorphs are motivated by two things: propagation of their own species and extermination of others. The creatures were visually designed by Swiss artist H.R. Giger, whose own works focus primarily on a strange sort of marriage between the human and the machine. He suffered from night terrors and took his artistic inspiration from the otherworldly beings his mind conjured during these episodes. It definitely adds to the fear factor that these creatures are, in essence, something that haunted this man in real life. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Frank Booth, Blue Velvet, violent drug dealer / oxygen enthusiast. Max Cady, Cape Fear franchise, the ultimate stalker.
Come out, wherever you are.
The Peacock family, The X-Files, generations of inbreeding.
The way I think it goes here is that Edmund is the brother and father of the other two.
Which means that when Edmund was a kid, he could ground the other two for playing with his things?
The Thing franchise, a terrifying monstrosity. Carnage, Spider-Man franchise, the psychopathic alien symbiote.
Good evening, Detective Lee. I told you we'd meet again to settle old accounts.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Michael Myers, Halloween franchise. Michael Myers is a deeply disturbed individual. At the age of 6, Myers killed his teenage sister and was placed in an asylum.
Michael?
He escaped 15 years later and went after Laurie Strode and anyone surrounding her. John Carpenter took his inspiration for Michael from a college class trip to an institution. There, he observed a young boy, around 12, and noted the cold, vacant stare and true darkness in his eyes.
The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Michael is made more disturbing by his white painted mask. It removes any and all emotion from his face and truly shows the coldness of his actions. He is also somewhat superhuman, getting shot several times, set on fire, etc. Yet, he always comes back.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.